Deon in Round Lake, Illinois. Hey, Deon, what's up?
Yeah, Thom, I think the bigger issue here is that the middle class is shrinking. There's a LA Times article that the Pew Research Center found that the middle class fell in 203 out of 229 U.S. metropolitan areas from 2000 to 2014. Those include Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York. So I think if we had a thriving economy, I don't think people would be having these kind of issues. Do you agree with that?
No. I agree that the middle class is under assault and has been ever since Ronald Reagan declared war on the middle class, starting off by firing Patco and declared war on American workers. I agree with that. And that was largely the white middle class. And I don't, and frankly, that destruction of the white middle class by 40 years of Reaganomics has, I think, caused many working class whites, these are basically your Trump supporters, to say, yeah, okay, somebody did this to us, who was it? And then you get somebody like Trump coming along going, oh, it's those brown people from Mexico, or it's those black people down in Louisiana or whatever. And all, the white people are going, yup, and it's like, so yes, I don't disagree that there is a problem there. But the problem of the oppression of black people in this country, the problem of the disrespect of black people in this country, the problem of the fear that white people have of black people in this country, and the problem of poverty and institutional racism has very little to do with the destruction of the middle class. Although it does have everything to do with policy, and a lot of it has to do with economic policy. So, it's like I said, it's a complex, entangled thing. The rant that I was going to get into at the start of this hour, I'm going to do at the start of the next hour, which is how do societies, how do we become addicts, basically, whether it's an addiction to drugs or whether it's an addiction to violence or whether it's an addiction to rage or whether it's an addiction to fill in the blanks. And what does that have to do with all these things? And I think that the death of the middle class plays in hugely there. But keep in mind, I mean, the African-American middle class is a relatively recent phenomena in the United States. I mean, there's always been a very small black middle class, but it growing. I mean, in large part, this came about. I mean, first you had Brown, then you had the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, and serious efforts against discrimination, at least in hiring by government. And by government agencies and some large companies. And there's so much, we've got so much farther to go, Deon. Deon, thanks a lot for the call. We've got so much farther to go. And we need to be moving forward. And frankly, a lot of the steps, a lot of the things that have been discussed that are being debated in the Democratic Platform Committee, I think could help these kinds of situations. Things like saying health care should be a right, not a privilege. That this wasn't debated at the Democratic platform, although it should have been. Should the government be the employer of last resort when capitalism fails?
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.